Hello and welcome back to Everything Boats with Captain Franklin here, where we discuss boats and boating, from maintenance and repairs to seamanship and safety, as well as everything in between. This podcast is a companion to my YouTube channel of the same name, so if you like and find it useful, be sure to subscribe and please check out my YouTube channel as well, where you'll find hundreds of informative videos on pretty much every boating topic imaginable. Today we're going to be discussing EPIRBs and PLBs. Nothing takes the search out of search and rescue more than having one of these modern marvels of maritime safety on board. Here's how to make sure your unit is ready, willing, and able. The only thing worse than not having crucial safety gear on board is to have it fail when needed. This is especially true for EPIRBs and PLBs, both of which are expected to work flawlessly in an emergency every time, despite minimal maintenance and constant exposure to the harsh marine environment. The golden day, not an 80s Eddie Murphy movie, but rather the first 24 hours following an emergency, during which the majority of survivors can, statistically anyway, be saved. An emergency position indicating radio beacon, EPIRB, or a personal locator beacon, PLB, goes a long way towards accomplishing that goal by taking the search out of a search and rescue mission. But what exactly is an EPIRB or PLB, and what do they do? When activated, emergency beacons transmit a coded message on the 406 megahertz distress frequency, which is then relayed via the Cosmos SARSAT global satellite system and Earth stations to the nearest RCC, Rescue Coordination Center. Featuring internal GPS, modern units can provide a location accuracy of approximately 100 yards. EPIRBs versus PLB. Well, what's the difference? The popularity of personal locator beacons, or PLBs, has soared in recent years due to their portability and lower cost. So why not just skip an EPIRB altogether and go with something you can wear? Although PLBs and EPIRBs work in exactly the same manner, there are a number of differences between them beyond their size. While PLBs transmit a distress signal for a minimum of 24 hours, transmit time for an EPIRB is double that, a minimum of 48 hours. Unlike a PLB, EPIRBs can also be configured to automatically deploy and activate in the event of an emergency. Category 1 EPIRBs are designed to float free from a sinking vessel and turn on automatically when they come in contact with water. A Category 2 rating denotes an EPIRB that is manually activated and deployed. As to downsides, unlike a PLB, which is registered to a person, an EPIRB is registered to a specific vessel, which means that you can't legally take it with you to use on board another vessel. Which highlights another sweet thing about PLBs. As they are legal for use on both land and sea, you can take them on any adventure, from exploring the Amazon to hiking that remote mountain pass. Testing and maintenance. EPIRBs and PLBs should be inspected monthly or prior to any extended cruise. When inspecting and conducting any tests, exercise extreme caution to avoid inadvertent activation and generation of a false distress signal. Exterior inspections. Start by inspecting the exterior of your PLB or EPIRB thoroughly for any physical damage, such as corrosion, cracking, or water intrusion. Cracks or damage to the case can admit water and cause the unit to malfunction or fail. If any damage is noted, the unit should then be sent to an authorized service center immediately. If your unit needs cleaning, simply wipe it down with a soft cloth moistened with water. It goes without saying, but here we go. Never clean your PLB or EPIRB with household cleaners, such as bleach, sanitizers, soaps, gasoline, or anything else. Just plain old water is all you need to use. For EPIRBs, you'll also want to include inspection of the mounting bracket or housing. Cat 1 EPIRBs should be stowed in an unobstructed location so that they can float free when released. Such installations will also have a hydrostatic release unit, or HRU, designed to sense water pressure if a vessel sinks, automatically releasing the mount and allowing the EPIRB to float to the surface. HRUs expire every 2 years, so note the expiration date of the HRU during your inspection. If the EPIRB has a tether or lanyard, it should be in good condition, neatly stowed, and attached to the unit. It should not, however, be attached to the mounting bracket or the vessel. You'll also want to verify the presence of a current NOAA registration sticker. Federal law requires that all USA-coded EPIRBs and PLBs be registered with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. This registration provides search and rescue organizations emergency contact information so that if your beacon is activated, they'll know who they're looking for. It also gives them someone to call and verify that it's an actual emergency rather than a false alarm. This means you'll need to update your registration if any of the information changes or if you buy a used unit. Registration can easily be taken care of online at the NOAA website. Self-test. Once the physical inspection is completed, conduct a self-test following the manufacturer's instructions. Following these instructions is crucial to ensure your beacon is working properly and to prevent accidental activation. When conducting a 406 MHz beacon self-test, the EPIRB or PLB is allowed to radiate a single burst, one specially coded so that it is ignored by the Cosmos SARSAT system. Most EPIRBs will have a visible test switch, one that's spring-loaded so it can't be left on inadvertently, draining the battery. Depending on the unit, a combination of beeps, lights, or strobe flashes will indicate test circuits are operating properly. Many newer EPIRBs and PLBs will show tests and results via an integral display. PLBs must be manually activated, and some units are not that intuitive to turn on. Routine testing not only serves to confirm proper operation, but also provides familiarization with activating the unit in the event of an emergency. If your PLB or EPIRB is accidentally activated, turn the unit off and cancel the false alert by calling the nearest U.S. Coast Guard station. Assuming you're in the U.S., they will in turn contact the nearest RCC, Rescue Coordination Center, to cancel the alert. Points to remember if the feces hits the rotary oscillator. When activated, some EPIRBs must be deployed and floating in the water for their antenna to operate at maximum efficiency. The manufacturer's instructions will indicate if the EPIRB should be operating afloat or if it can, for example, be kept inside a life raft. PLBs, on the other hand, should be kept clear of the water once activated and oriented with the antenna pointing towards the sky. Most PLBs do not float, but typically come with a flotation jacket of some type. Finally, once activated, keep your EPIRB or PLB switched on until you are rescued. Never turn off the unit in an attempt to prolong battery life. Doing so can reduce the ability of satellites to determine your position and can prolong rescue efforts.